So in this example, I will go over an exercise of finding out market equilibrium given the demand function as well as the supply function, and we will compute the consumer surplus, the producer surplus, and total surplus. And finally, we will also look at how to find the surplus or shortage when we have a situation of price floor or price ceiling. So let me write down the market demand. Market demand given by Q equal to 100 minus P. I could write Q superscript D to show demand, just to be more precise, and then we will have market supply Q is equal to P, or I could write Q subscript S to be equal to P to be more precise, that it denotes supply. In equilibrium, we have a price P, we'll call it P star, such that the quantity demanded 100 minus P is equal to the quantity supplied, which is P. So this is one equation, one unknown. We should be able to solve it, and the way we typically solve, I want the constant, the number on one side, and the variable on the other side. So let's add P to both sides so that we do not have any variable on the left. So what is left out on the left hand side is 100. On the right hand side I have P plus P, 2P, that gives me, now I can go over and divide both sides by 2. That gives me the price P star to be 100 over 2, $50. So $50 per unit turns out to be the price. Once I know the price, I can go back and compute the quantity Q star from either the demand. So from the demand I know QD 100 minus price 50, so I get 50. I could have done this even from the supply to obtain the same answer. Supply would give me QS equal to the price, which is 50. So now we have the equilibrium outcome. We should be able to show this in a graph. So let's draw a graph. We will have price on the vertical axis. That's always the case. The quantity on the horizontal axis. So price on the vertical, quantity on the horizontal. I will draw the demand curve, should be a straight line. That's my linear demand, downward sloping, and then I will draw my supply, again straight line, equal to price equal to the quantity. If we, as we have seen in the algebra, the quantity turns out to be 50 unit and the price also turns out to be 50 unit. So now this is our equilibrium outcome. I will call it P star, quantity to be Q star, and given this, now we are ready to compute. Let me first write down the equilibrium outcome. So market equilibrium is the pair P star Q star. $50 per unit is the price, 50 units is the quantity, and to obtain the consumer surplus, I will go back to the graph to show. In this graph, the consumer surplus is the triangle which is above the equilibrium price, and the producer surplus is the triangle area below the equilibrium price. So now we want to find out the consumer surplus. It's a triangular shape, so the area of a triangle is 1/2 times height, 100 minus 50, times the base, which is the quantity, 50 units. And if we do this calculation, 1/2 50 times 50 gives me 2500 over 2, 1250. Now I could also compute producer surplus. Again, this is the triangle area. This time the height is 50 minus 0, base is 50, so I got 1/2 times 2500. That answer turns out to be 1250. The total surplus is the sum of these two, so producer surplus plus consumer surplus. In our case, both of them turned out to be 1250, so the total surplus is 2500. That's the welfare analysis of the equilibrium. Now we will like to look at price floor. In order for price floor to be effective, it must be greater than the equilibrium price. So let's have a price floor $60 per unit, and we will like to find out the quantity demanded given the price floor. Quantity demanded is 100 minus the price, so 100 minus 60 turns out to be 40 unit. Quantity supplied is equal to the price itself, so which is 60. So firms want to sell 60 units, consumers want to buy 40 units, so we have a surplus which is the quantity supplied minus quantity demanded, 20 units. Now we would also like to look at an example of price ceiling and its impact on the market. In order for the price ceiling to be effective, it must be below the equilibrium price. So let's have a price ceiling. I put an upper bar to show it is a ceiling. Let's say it is $30 per unit. Given this, quantity demanded is 100 minus P, 100 minus 30 turns out to be 70. Quantity supplied equal to P. So we have quantity demanded 70, quantity supplied 30, which means we have a shortage, which is the difference between quantity demanded and quantity supplied, turns out to be 40 units.